Let's start with a statement that seems to turn everything on its head. It's a paradox, right? It feels like it defies all logic. But as we're about to see, it actually unlocks a much, much deeper truth about what real power and real kingship truly look like.
So for this explainer, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and theologically rich scenes in the entire Bible. We're looking at the trial of Jesus before Pilate from the Gospel of John, chapter 19. And wow, is it a moment that just pulls back the curtain on the weakness of human power and reveals God's authority in a way you'd never expect? Okay, to really get what's happening here, we first have to understand the brutal historical reality of the situation. You see, the Roman soldiers weren't just being randomly cruel. No, they were using very specific, calculated tools of power and shame. Tools designed to completely break a person, both body and spirit.
And let's be really clear about this. A Roman flogging was not just a whipping. It was a barbaric act of torture, a systematic destruction of a human body. The whole point was to inflict the absolute maximum amount of pain and damage. It was so brutal, in fact, that many people didn't even survive the flogging itself.
So after this horrific flogging, the soldiers get together and stage this twisted, dark ceremony. And this isn't just some random act of bullying. This mock coronation was a known Roman torture ritual, and it was specifically used on rebels who had the nerve to claim they were a king. Every single part of it, the crown, the robe, the sarcastic cheers, it was all designed to humiliate and to scream Rome's absolute power over everyone.
But this is where the entire scene just pivots. The gospel writer, John, he wants us to see something absolutely incredible happening just beneath the surface. Rome thinks it's humiliating some failed revolutionary. But in a stunning twist of irony, every single act of mockery is actually, without them knowing it, revealing a deeper, divine truth.
So you've got these two realities happening at the exact same time. On one hand, you have Rome's intention, which is pure mockery, pure degradation. But on the other hand, you have the divine reality that John is pointing us to. This is a coronation. They think they are unkinging him, but they are actually unknowingly playing a part in his enthronement.
And it's just brilliant how John lays out these layers of irony. Think about it. They give him a crown, but it's made of thorns. They dress him in royal purple, but it's a joke to them. They hail him as their king, but their words are just dripping with sarcasm. They, the condemned, are passing judgment on the one who is the judge of all the earth. Every single cruel act somehow becomes this accidental act of worship.
Now, this irony isn't just in what they do, it's woven into the very words that are spoken by the people in charge, people who have absolutely no idea what they are truly saying.
When Pilate brings the beaten and bloody Jesus out to the crowd, he says, "Behold the man." Now, what he means is, look at this pathetic, broken creature. But John makes sure to include those words because theologically, they are profoundly true. Pilate is, without knowing it, presenting the ultimate man, the perfect human, the second Adam.
And then you hear this absolutely chilling cry from the religious leaders. In this one moment, they deliberately, emphatically throw away their entire messianic hope. They reject God's promised king, and instead they swear their ultimate loyalty to a pagan Roman emperor. I mean, it is a moment of just profound spiritual tragedy.
And this is so crucial. The text says Pilate delivered him over, right? It sounds like Pilate is the one in control, calling the shots. But John has already given us the key to understanding this. Back in John chapter 10, verse 18, Jesus himself said, "No one takes my life from me, but I lay it down of my own accord." So while Pilate thinks he's handing Jesus over, the greater reality is that Jesus is handing himself over. This brings us to a really critical point of understanding. None of this is happening by chance. These events aren't just some tragic accident of history. No, they are the precise fulfillment of ancient prophecies. This humiliation was part of a divine plan from the very beginning.
I mean, just look at this incredible tapestry of prophecy. Isaiah 53 describes a suffering servant, so disfigured he's barely recognizable as human. Psalm 22 foretells a righteous man who would be mocked and pierced. Zechariah 12 speaks of a rejected shepherd king. And even those thorns, they point directly back to the curse in Genesis chapter 3, now being placed on the head of the one who came to break that very curse.
And this gets right to the very heart of the story of redemption. You see, the first man, Adam, he grasped for a throne out of pride, and that led to the fall of humanity. So the Son of God comes and redeems humanity by humbly, willingly receiving a crown of thorns. The old story of failure is being completely rewritten as a story of victory, but it's victory through suffering.
This whole scene also gives us this stark, incredible contrast between two very, very different kinds of power. On one side, you have the hollow, terrified power of humanity, and on the other, the calm, dignified power of God.
I mean, just look at the two figures here. You've got Pilate, the man with all the official authority, and he is just unraveling. He's trapped, he's scared, he's compromised. He's the governor who can't even govern his own fear. And then you have Jesus, silent, composed, standing in absolute royal dignity, even in the midst of all this suffering. This isn't weakness. This is the posture of true authority.
And that really leads us to the core truth of this entire scene. You see, his kingship isn't proven by avoiding the pain, by calling down angels to escape the crown of thorns. No, his kingship is proven precisely because he willingly wears it.
And so we see this incredible cosmic irony just unfold before our eyes. They clothe him in a purple robe, thinking it's the ultimate degrading joke.
Never for a second imagining that the entire universe is watching its true king being robed, not for shame, but for the final, decisive spiritual battle.
Then, using all the authority of their mighty empire, they make their final decision, and they deliver him over to be crucified.
Completely and utterly unaware that he is the one who is in ultimate control, delivering himself willingly for the redemption of the very world that is condemning him.
So what we've just witnessed here in the Gospel of John, this is not the tragic story of a king losing his throne. No way. This is the story of the one true king descending into the very heart of human brokenness and mockery and violence in order to conquer it all from the inside out.